Hey guys, it's Heather. I just wanted to do an update for you guys. I had a couple of requests on my channel page for some videos, so I thought that I would do one of those now and I'll do the second one later. One of my requests was for some advice about taking prerequisites, and since that obviously comes before the nursing program, I decided to do that one first. My other request was about clinicals, so I'll do that one next. Everybody's school is different, obviously, and every school requires different prerequisites depending on what type of program that you're in. As I've said before, my program's a bridge program, so my prerequisites might be a little bit different from yours. We have about 10 prerequisites that we have to take, including English, child lifespan and development, math, stuff like that. But I'm going to talk about the main prerequisites that we have to take, which we have microbiology, we have pharmacology, and then instead of some schools who have like A&P1, A&P2, we have just anatomy by itself for a whole semester, and then we have physiology by itself for a whole semester. And then I guess the other big one that we have to take is math, but I'm not really going to talk about that one because it's not as nursing related as the others. But before I start talking about the actual classes, something that I found was helpful for taking my prerequisites was looking up my professors, the options of professors I could take on a website called ratemyprofessor.com. There's a lot of different websites like that, but this is the only one that I know of that is free. Some of them make you pay for it, and I'm not going to pay for that, and I don't know why anybody would. But I have found a couple of amazing teachers on that website, and I find that it's really helpful to look up your teachers before taking them. I found my pharmacology teacher and my medical terminology teacher on Rate My Professor, and she ended up being one of my favorite teachers I ever had. She had great reviews on there. Everybody talked about how funny she was and how she just really helped them understand the material. And if it wasn't for that site, I never would have taken her, and I never would have had such a good experience. I also found my micro teacher on ratemyprofessor.com, and I might have already mentioned this before, but he's my absolute favorite teacher I've ever had, from kindergarten all the way through college. Absolute favorite teacher. His class was extremely difficult, but the way that he was made me just want to try that much harder. So yeah, I definitely recommend looking up teachers, looking up your school, and then look up your teacher by last name on that website if you can. Though I will give a warning, sometimes I feel the people that give reviews on there aren't really reviewing for the teacher's actual teaching skills. I think sometimes people get bad grades and they get upset, and that's why they leave a bad review. So sometimes you have to take the reviews with a grain of salt. A grain of salt. I mean, if a teacher has overwhelmingly good reviews, they're probably good. But if they have, a pretty good amount of good reviews with some bad ones mixed in, don't get too scared or discouraged. I know I had an issue with my anatomy. That class fills up really fast because it's the first prerequisite that you really take for the nursing programs. And so that one fills up a lot because some people, don't realize until they take anatomy that, oh, maybe this isn't for me and stuff like that. But I had an issue of not being able to get an anatomy for a whole extra semester because it filled up so fast. And when I finally did get a chance, the only person that was available was a person who on Rate My Professor had really iffy reviews, and so I was really scared to take him. But people had kept saying that he was really hard, he was unfair, and stuff like that. And when I took his class, I didn't find that at all. He was a difficult teacher, but he gave you plenty of chances to come and talk to him, ask him questions for help, and he even gave extra homework assignments that helped you study while helping to boost your grades. So yeah, sometimes you do have to take those with a grain of salt. But anyways, onto the classes. I just want to say that anatomy and physiology is an extremely important prerequisite. I think it's honestly more important than any of the others, just because when you take anatomy and physiology, it's a lot of information to absorb in one semester, especially anatomy. At least for me, it's a lot of memorization and less of how you kind of understand how things work, like physiology is. Anatomy is more just like memorizing every little thing about the body, which I found extremely difficult. So one word of advice I would say for anatomy and physiology: when you get in that class, just absorb as much as you can and study as much as you can, because that stuff will keep coming back in the nursing program. And the more that you know then, the less that you're going to have to go back and study for later in the program when you already have nursing stuff to study for. Not to say that you're going to remember everything, because there's no way you will, but you'll be surprised by how much you really do remember. Maybe, you can't recite, all the names of the bones and the condyles and trochanters and whatever off the top of your head, but if you read something about it in your book, it would trigger something in your mind, and that would really be beneficial to you. So yeah, I would just try to get a really good teacher for anatomy and physiology, somebody who has a passion for it and who also maybe knows that you're in a nursing program, so that can help them to make their teaching style more helpful to you in a nursing and health professional type of situation. My teacher for anatomy wasn't quite like that. He was a really good teacher, but he wasn't quite as nursing focused. So that was a little bit frustrating at times, but like I said, I had a really hard time getting into the actual class, so I just had to do what I had to do. So as for the other two classes, pharmacology is obviously extremely important, and dosage calculations, I think, at least for my school, are a really big deal. We have to have pharmacology as a prerequisite, and you have, no matter if you're making an A on every single test in the class, we have to have separate separate dosage calculation tests during the semester, and you have to take 5 of them, and you have to pass at least 3 of them with a 90, and if you don't pass them, you don't pass the class. So that's an extremely important thing, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of hard to sit there and learn about all these medications when you're not learning about the disease processes that they're used for quite as in depth as you will be in nursing school. And I feel like the same things that you're learning in pharmacology are kind of reiterated again in the actual nursing classes. So while it's good to have a foundation, I feel like it's not quite as important as the anatomy and physiology, which isn't really repeated to you again, whereas the pharmacology kind of is. At least that's what I've experienced in my school. So yeah, I'm really glad we do take it as a prerequisite, because it does help, like I said, especially with dose calculations. We have them every semester now before school starts. In the nursing program, you can only miss 1 or you get kicked out of the program. So yeah, that's really nerve-wracking. But like I said, I feel like it's a lot of the stuff is reiterated over and over again in nursing school. So you have a little bit of a second chance maybe if you didn't understand pharmacology as well the first time. Whereas, like I said, with anatomy and physiology, you really need to have a good foundation of it before you get in the program. So and then the next prerequisite is micro. I honestly haven't used much micro in nursing school yet. I loved micro though. It was so interesting. I couldn't believe how interested I actually was in it, because I was dreading the class before it started. But I'm only in the first semester, so possibly we will use it more. I don't know if a lot of schools have micro as a prerequisite. I've not really looked at other schools. I think they usually do, but I'm not 100%. But yeah, if you have to take micro, take it and just enjoy it. I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed that class. It was so interesting. We got to do the gram stains and all that stuff in our labs, and it was a really fun class. So I don't honestly have that much to say about micro. Like I said, we didn't use it. We haven't used it very much in nursing school so far, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, so that made it worth it for me to take it. But yeah, just study hard in your prerequisites. I think, like I said, the anatomy and physiology is really a lot more important than people realize. Don't sell your textbook. Keep your textbook, because you will need it again. I guarantee it. Actually, any prerequisites that you're taking for the nursing program, just keep them. I didn't keep my medical terminology book, and I really wish that I had, because it's really helpful to just go to that book and look up certain medical terms. I mean, I have the Tabor's medical dictionary and stuff, but I liked my med term book because it had pictures, and it was just a little bit more colorful than that book was. So that's another tip. Keep your textbooks. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about the prereqs right now, guys. If you have any more specific questions for me, just let me know, and I will be making another clinical video after the new year about clinicals, about what to kind of expect, at least from what I experienced in my first semester. So Thank you guys so much for watching the videos and sticking with me. And sorry, I got cut off. Thank you guys for sticking with me and watching all my videos. Like I said, if you have any more ideas for me, please let me know. I will update again after the new year, like I said. So you guys have a great and safe new year. And I will see y'all in 2011. Bye.